in the chat. Okay. All right. If somebody, yeah, thank you guys. So I'm just gonna want to talk about a couple of things for this weekend. So obviously we have the 04 team gonna be playing most of the time. All the teams obviously playing with a 4-4-2 system or 4-3-3, right? We're gonna go for the 4-4-2 system. How do you deal with that? And they will usually have a 1 D-mid and 1 attacking and 2 forwards, and then 2 outside mids and 2 outside backs. So they're going to be kind of lined up like that. Some of them might be playing like this. So we can deal with either way of them. Okay. So our lineup, of course, is always the 3 back and 2 defensive mids and outside wingers, outside mids, and outside left forward, outside right forward. So we're going to be kind of going over some of the responsibilities, kind of talking about what we're supposed to do. So number 1 is we kind of talked about this last week in the goal kicks. I want to start the goal kicks most of the time inside the box now that with the new rule. 2 center backs going to be coming here. Center back comes here. D-mid comes deep here. The other D-mid is going to be moving towards where the pass is given. So if the pass short given here, the other D-mid is going to be coming here. The outside mids are going to be like this. And the forwards are going to be checking into these gaps in a goal kick when we want to possess the ball. So if we get the ball here, we have a wide option. And of course, the forwards are going to be here. So if the player is covering the center like this, you're going to just go wide and we can attack wide. But if they're running to there, they're going to be a through ball. This is when the center mid is going to be here to get out. Once we get out, make sure that everybody understands. Once we get out, the center back needs to come back to the center area right here. And D-mid, if this was a D-mid goes right back, comes back to his position, and we start pushing out as a team. We're going to be, pushing up as a team, and we're going to get out as far as we can go after that when we start an attack. Okay, so I'm going to put the ball in the offensive side when we are in attacking position. For example, we get all the way here in an attack. If the right forward has the ball all the way here, I don't want center forward to come in for a short ball. I want center forward to stay inside the box. Correct? I want this player to go closer to inside the box, this area. And I want the outside left mid from the opposite side to come and check into this gap. Right mid should be the giving the drop. The center mid, one of them needs to be outside the box right here. The other one is going to be staying around here a little bit deeper, covering this player maybe this way. And the center backs, 2 of them going to stay, and one of them is going to step to the gap somewhere around here. If the ball is here, they can step to here. Obviously, these guys are coming back. You guys see that? What's happening? These guys are coming back. They're going to be recovering as well. They're going to be recovering. They're going to be recovering. They're going to be running back. So our shape should be a D-mid covering this D-mid. One D-mid can attack all the way to here if he wants to, or even go for a header if he wants to, as long as this D-mid is here. One of the defenders, so don't stay in a 3 defense system when the ball is this far. Okay, we want to make sure that you guys step one of the center backs to the gap. So if the ball is here, closer to that area, if the ball is in the middle somewhere, the goalie gets it, you need to be sliding to the center. If you see a player wide open there, you can slide a little bit, but don't overcommit. Our job is to run straight back. So we give enough time and slow down the play until we get more players to defend. Does that make sense?
Daji, it looks like we had a question come in from Kylie.
Okay.
They said, what if there's a lot of high pressure when they're playing out from the box, like the goal kick?
Then, yeah, great question. We talked about that last time when we talked about this. I'm not going to draw it here. Let's see if, hold on, I'm going to use a different one. Let me know if you guys can see it. Hold on for a second. Let me see. So, all right, can you see this?
Yep, that's
Yep.
up.
White, okay. So I'm gonna show you guys a very horrible drawing. Here you go. It's really hard to draw, so don't judge me. All right.
We're
So,
now.
so the keeper is here, center back is here, center back is here, center back, one of them here, and then one of the D-mids comes back here. We make a weird looking square, right? I think there's a name for this, right? This shape.
Pentagon.
Yep, that's good.
Trapezoid.
Oi, I have no idea. So I believe you guys. All right, the outside mid is gonna go deep, and one D mid is gonna be standing in here somewhere. Forwards are gonna be around here, correct? So if the other team brings in players surrounding this area, so many that we might be in trouble, this is when the goalie decides, or the center back can say, just do a long one. So you just do this hand gesture, just keep up going. And at that point that we're gonna be stepping everybody up. And look, you see that the forwards are gonna tuck in this time. The outside mid's gonna go further, but the forwards tuck in. These players are tucking in, and if the goal kick is coming from where the ball is here, you're gonna be tucking in, sliding a little bit closer to there, so you can crowd that area to win a header. So we are all stepping up as far as we can. All right, I think that was the keeper and the center backs. So we're gonna be kind of bunching up that area if we're doing this. And sometimes we might even be a little bit more compact, depends on where the other team is. But it's okay to have an open, wider option on the outside. And as long as the outside forwards come back to tuck in for a long goal kick to the same side. The dumbest thing you can do is go to your positions, like let's just say the 3 back and the 2 D mids, and this is our shape, right? The dumbest thing you can do is the goal kick is going to be kicked from here and leave this gap right here for the other team to dominate. The goal kick is going to be coming from here. Even pro teams, they always go to this gap and compact this area. They're going to be using, the space. Most of the goal kicks are going to be coming from there, correct? So we want to make sure that we go there. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm going to change it to this. I don't know. Can you guys see the green one now again?
Nope, not yet.
Yeah, no, it's still another one.
Okay, I have to stop
Rather.
share so you can see my new hair. All right, let's see. All right, are we good? Can you guys see it now?
Yep.
All right. So one thing about before a cross gonna come, I really want to be adamant about having this forward not running here anymore and waiting in this spot. That could open up the space right here for a D-mid. You being here is going to be scoring more goals. Also, it's going to keep this, I'm going to draw it, it's going to keep this area deep and busy. So if you're here, they're going to be there. So it's much easier chances for us to see, like if the guy goes all the way to here to cross the ball, he will have this option, he'll have this option, he'll have that option. But if you're sliding here, you're closing every angle that player has. You're doing better defense than the other team is defending. So we want to make sure you guys understand that. Does that make sense?
We're having a couple questions come in.
Okay, hold on. Just
Do
for a
the
second.
outside men?
Oh no,
Yep,
we just
go
wait
ahead.
for a sec. So Dylan, you just jumped in. We have 2 games this weekend. Dylan, are you coming to both the games? Dylan. Center forward, Dylan. Tall Pizza Hut, Dylan.
Hello?
Hey, but are you coming to both the games this weekend?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm telling you, if the ball is in this guy's cross, you want to make sure the center forward stays in the blind spot right here every time. Don't make it run this way and close our gap. We want to make sure that everybody's in the right spot. This is the left forward. This is the right forward. This is the outside mid giving a drop. Center mid is in the edge of the box. Other center mid is covering that guy. One of the defenders step into this gap. If the ball is here, they slide a little bit this way. Do you see it? Do you guys see everybody's responsibilities? Ideally, this is what we want. The question could come. What if the pass, whoa, somebody's drawing. Who's that? I don't know how you did that, but it wasn't me. Who did that?
Yeah, it's Wade Alonso. I saw the name on the screen.
Hey, Wade, can you get rid of that? I don't know how you did it, but I can't delete it, so.
Busted.
Oh dear.
Okay,
There we go.
all right. So, in this case, if this is the outside mid came all the way here, is the right forward give a drop? No, right forward is the one goes inside the box, maybe at the edge. The D mid slides to give a drop, ideally. So this player can be inside the box. I don't want you here because we have a player there. So go to the edge of the box as a right forward. So in this case, roles kind of change. Do you see that? This is the left mid still. Left forward still in the back post closer to the goal. They can always make it run here if the cross comes to here. They can finish behind this player if the cross is a good cross. Now, another big point that I'm going to make before we go to the questions, guys. So the goalie is going to be in goal when a cross is going to come. So the crosses need to be in this area right here. This area, this is your danger zone. If you're going to go over, that's your danger zone. Front post, away from keeper, that's where the goal should land, right? The ball should land. But majority of the goals will be more successful in this area. Does that make sense? So we want to really focus on this area. This is where Cristiano Ronaldo really excels. He loves that area. Ronaldo asks the crosses to be coming here. He goes to the blind spot and he wants to do bites, headers, finishing. He wants that crosses to that. He wants the crosser to beat this defender. All he wants. A lot of players like Lewandowski, this is his spot. This should be the spot of Dylan, Momodou. This should be the spot of all our center forwards. I'm giving those names, guys, because we have the games this weekend for those guys. So I just want them to kind of start feeling like it's game time. I'm not trying to eliminate any of you guys. I hope you guys understand. Okay, let's read the questions. Who wants to read the questions?
The first one was from Connor. Do the outside midfielders have their backs turned to the opponent's goal on the goal kick or the touchline to see the field?
You have to see the ball. You cannot be not facing the ball. So the only person I don't think there's anybody that should not be facing the ball. I'm thinking now, maybe a guy in the bench that never is gonna play. He can be on his phone and Dodgy never put him in the game. But other than that, every single player should be facing the ball before a goal kick for sure.
Because I'm wondering, Dodgy,
Checking your
like,
shoulder, always checking your shoulder, right? Always checking your shoulder where everybody is, where the offensive players are, where defensive players are. You need to make sure you're aware of those for sure. But at the end of the day, before the kick happens, you got to see where the ball is going to go. Where the ball is and where the ball is going to go. Because that is going to change your action, right? So if this guy is kicking the ball to this way,
to the
and you're a
left side.
right mid right here, you're going to start sliding to the center.
Yeah. I
Does
was
that
just
make
saying,
sense?
like, yeah, that's the part. It's just in our half, do you have your back turned to like facing your own goalkeeper? That's what I tried to say.
Well, yeah, I can't control where these guys' head turns. They're like chess pieces. But yeah, you have to make sure you face the keeper every time. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Other questions, guys? Who was it?
Looks like Wade had a question about dropping scenario, but it was from before. So Wade, are you still wondering about when you would drop when we were pressing?
So if we just like lost the ball right here, you have about 5-6 seconds to try to win the ball right around here with the forwards, maybe one D mid. But the center back, one D mid, and outside mid are coming back, no matter what. We have to start running back the moment we lose possession. The people who might be trying to steal that is the left forward, center forward, and the right forward, and maybe one of the D mids to close this gap. But if we don't steal it in the next 5-6 seconds, we're gonna start pulling back as well. So we're gonna start when they're coming, we're gonna start pulling back. Outside mid here, outside mid here, D mids are here, and the left forward here, center forward comes here, and our pressure usually starts about 60. So I'm gonna draw it with blue this time. So around here, guys, I'm gonna make it this way. This looks a little bit better than trying to make it straight line. So in this area, the pressure is starting. Does that make sense? This is where we like, if you don't win the ball right away, this is where we end up start the pressure. So like, for example, if they're, oh, should I grab the ball? All right, so if this guy is dribbling, there's an outside mid in front of him, right? And they are now forward, the other forward and outside mid, they're all stepping up now. And center backs, and this is their shape, right? So if this guy is coming right around here, we're just gonna be stopped right there. We're not gonna go further after the first 5-6 seconds. We don't steal it, we come back all the way here. Now watch where we're gonna do. Left forward is here, center forward goes to the closest defender, and the right forward comes all the way to here. If this happens really quick and the goalie passed and this guy is so far, here's what's gonna happen. One D mid goes there, this D mid slides here, and right forward becomes one of the D mids now. They have to be responsible to cover where the D mid's supposed to go. But ideally, if this is happening really slowly, we want right mid to make a run, right forward to make a run here to create this triangle. I'm gonna draw it a little bit different color. Do you see it? In this case, if this player is looking to open the game for a long ball, our right mid needs to start reading this and start sliding in for a long possible ball between. In this case, we can slide a little bit if the ball is going to go there to start covering this area if we don't win it. So this opposite side, outside mid, usually what do we say? Outside mid come back all the way. But if we see like a ball coming this way, a flat ball, right, or direct ball to the opposite side, you need to read that play and step. I'm going to tell you this. I've been focusing on all my teams, older guys, with this subject. Only total of last 3 years, probably 2 or 3 players done that right. And these players who's done that right has got more assists and more goals than the ones that always stays back. So this is only when they're gonna make an opening game from there. Did you see, guys, that? So let's just say we're moving the ball again. Let's just say this player gets the ball. How is the triangle gonna go now? This is an important one. When the ball is in the center, Dylan, I hope you're watching this. It's an important one. I want center forward to step. And I don't want to go here. I want to go here. Now, look at the shape that we are in. We're in the center. We don't want them to see this way. We're going to step here. We're going to step here. We're going to slide. If the ball is there, we're going to step here. We're going to step. Maybe if he's here, here. I want you to watch this. I change the color. You keep seeing it? You guys seeing this? These are the key moments if you want to play at the highest level. If you watch Atletico Madrid play, you're going to see this. You're going to see the triangles all over the field, even when the ball is here. You see the difference, though. I'm going to delete all that. You guys see that? So watch this. Again, when the ball goes wide, what are we going to do? Ball goes wide. Our triangle is different this time. Look at this shape. Our triangle is this way this time. Do you understand that? Why? Why is it different when the ball is on the wide? And everywhere else, it's a triangle, one up, right? One up. It's usually like this, one up and this, usually. But why is it like this right here?
We're keeping more players central.
Because we're not giving them the center. We are trying to lead them to go wide. Go wide and go flat. That's where we can steal the ball the most. Or we want them to go backwards instead of going forward. So if I made this shape like this, look at this space the player has now. Or if he steps, and we go like this, we cover it, but trust me, there's a lot more options for the other team to go. A long ball over. Remember, we were analyzing a game with coaches. We were analyzing a game. Coaches, by the way, the young coaches, Connor, Jeff was there, Cade, Nick is learning, Juan learning. We worked on this. Remember this happened in the Tottenham Arsenal game, this long ball? This player stepped up too high, and how easily Tottenham destroyed them. So if Tottenham the Arsenal did this, okay, if Arsenal did this, they wouldn't be able to have that chance. Ball is here. They wouldn't be able to have that chance. Hey, Dylan, did you see that?
Yeah,
Do you understand it, or do you have a
switching it
question?
to the, pushing them to the side,
Yeah, but do you see that
not
it's
letting
so
them get in the
different?
center.
Pressing in the center. If the ball is here, pressing in the center, look at where they go. Versus pressing in the outside in a 3-4-3 system where I want it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna ask a question, big one. I hope that you guys have asked me a question about this or make a comment.
TJ did have a question, but it was related to goal kicks.
Okay, we can go back to that in a sec. So I'm gonna ask you a question right here. Do you have a like a big time, whoa, that makes sense moment? Or that's why do we do that moment? Because it's important that we clear this up so you can understand the big plan. Because trust me, guys, the reason we beat bigger clubs is because they're not as organized as the teams I coach or our coaches coach. We are more organized. We have a system, and they might have, some of them have better players because they've been together longer. They have better like team chemistry maybe, but tactically they fall. Why is this important for us? Or do you have a moment like, hey, now I understand it. I think this is gonna change my game now. I think I'm gonna be able to do it better now. Either one of those. Tell me. I'm gonna give you 1 minute. I'm gonna mute myself. Come up with something. Put it in chat. I have one, and then we can undo the mic. Anything, guys? Everybody has been professionally understanding the system, and nothing ever came like, oh yeah, I already knew that. If you already knew that, you're definitely not showing it in the game. I've been watching every single team in our club, and I've been watching you guys in training. You don't do this. This is what you're supposed to do. So hopefully you make a comment. All right.
Dodgy, I think they don't understand the question.
Okay. So how I explained, the ball is here, how we create triangles all over the field. Either does that make sense to you and you have a waking up moment like, oh my God, I understand this now. It makes sense. Or do you have a moment that, why are we doing that? I don't get it. Either one of those. I wanna hear the question for a positive feedback about like, yes, I get it. Or you have a question, hey, you know what? Like, I still don't understand why I'm sliding all the way. I'm a right forward. Why would I go all the way here? Like a question like that.
Dodgy, I'll say for me that it's a good reminder. Because I think it's easy to kind of lose focus of those triangles sometimes, and to constantly have that in your mind, especially as a coach. For me, it was just a really good reminder.
Okay, good one. And I'm going to tell you guys something that, and you can still ask, I want you guys to ask questions or comment about what I said. I also want you guys to know, even if we stole the ball here, I really want the center forward to be here and center forward, I mean, the right forward to start sliding this way. Why? Because the defense, when they're sliding this way, the defense is going to slide. They're going to open the way of the right winger. Do you see it now?
Now I see why. That's a lot of space exposed in the back.
Yeah, because the moment this player is making a run this way, the whole defensive line is going to start going towards the center. They have to. That's what they have to do. So that's going to open up. But again, and I think especially on the girls' side, Kim, Jason, and Kate can see our girl will not see that, unfortunately, and she will just stay here. But if she sees that, space, and we can, like our forward, how we've been working on, touches it this way and then release it, you can be one-on-one with the keeper and have an easy goal. Steelheads last year, Marcus had scored like 4 goals just like this. Opposite
Making those
side.
outside,
And
making outside
assisted,
run.
assisted about 3-4 more just doing this. So make sure you guys understand why we slide. Also, when you slide to this area, you also, not only you're taking everybody's attention, but we have central options in this area as well. So if a ball goes to here, we have 2 players that could make a run to the central area where the most goals are going to be scored in this area. Does that make sense? So you're making your numbers. And what if we open the game and we found this player, right? So let's go to move. So if this player ends up getting the ball, okay, but she did not make a diagonal run and she made a wide run. So that gives enough time for the defenders to cover. Now she has 2 options in there as well, right? Now she doesn't have just one option. Let's get rid of all that. He has 2 options. When my right forward made a run inside to the center, now we have 2 options. And if this guy is going, that's going to have an opening for both of them. If the cross is good here or there, we get a direct option right away. So this is going to allow us to keep the center backs busy as well. Do we have to do this every single time? No, especially when you recognize, let's just say this, you recognize your right mid is just not getting it. She or he is just not going to make that run. But in that case, if this player has the ball, you want to give our team liberal width so the right forward can go wide, and hopefully the center mids are supporting this attack. Does that make sense? But ideally, what we really want is she or he making a run that way to clear this whole space. If you watch enough Manchester City or Liverpool, their game plan is that, creating space for those angles. Like Manchester City has a drill, like kind of like the one that we do. Sterling checks in. Defender, let's make the defender checking in area. Defender checks in with him. And the red forward, the moment Sterling checks in, the red forward is making a run to where Sterling was. So the pass is given to this area. Sterling checking in means nothing. Sterling is doing a decoy job. So the player knows that when Sterling checks in, this defender is going to clear this area and our other forward will be ready to go to that area. This is how much they train on. They know what they're doing. So it's a good trick. It works. It's very easy. That's kind of like what we're doing simply. We're creating this space for our players. Does that make sense?
Ava has a question and wants to talk. Ava, go ahead. You turn on your mic.
Can you reset the players back, like the center mids back to where they were?
Where do you want the ball?
Yeah, that's fine.
So where do you want to do? You want to here?
Yeah.
Okay. So center mids will be supporting the attack. Okay. If outside mid is supporting this player, then center mid is gonna support the triangle here. Look at the triangle we just created. Triangle here. Now always to create that, continue to create that, this center mid needs to slide in here, right? And this player needs to slide in here. And this player needs to start sliding here. This player needs to go there. And this player needs to start kicking in. Unless this player is making the run and she's there, they can see that opening. And that's a bigger, much bigger triangle, but we still have it. We're creating those. I would probably move this player a little bit more this way and step these players. Do you see it?
Yeah.
You see this? So look what happens though, Ava. So if one player is not pushing, or one player did not go up there, or one player is too far from the play, it's messing up everything. You cannot possess the ball. You cannot defend. The wider you want to go is the opposite side, the space. And the space right now is where? Right here. That's when you can go away from players and not slide as a team. When you see the space, you can make a run to space. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and last week the girls were actually making that run, but our team a lot of the times wasn't seeing that open space for a cross.
Well, the forward job is the issue, Jason. So forward needs to be receiving this ball right here. And a lot of times, unfortunately, because like, I don't want to use names, but like some of the clubs in the area, the only thing they work on is if this player gives the ball here, the forward is going to pass it to the same side. But we work on something else. We work on catching the team off guard. Because if the attack is coming from here, watch what happens to the other team. They slide here. They all come back here, and they have to. Any good team will. If they're not doing this, they're not really a good team, trust me. So slide even more here to close up because they're creating their triangles, right? They're closing the gaps. So the most important thing about this is if the forward gets this through ball, if she or he touches it here, they're gonna try to close the shot. But that also opens up through balls for the open spaces. And look at the numbers here. Let's count. How many players are on this side? In the side of the ball. Let's throw it like this. And including the keeper. Let's just, how many?
I think it's about like 6 or 7 players on that right-hand side.
Should be 9.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Should be 9. So, I mean, even math, right? Simple math. Where would you want to go? Do you really want to go from the side that has 9 players? Or do you want to go where you have 3 versus 2? Or even 1-on-1 if the pass is good and this player actually makes it. We have a thing in Gala, we have an issue. We don't want to go towards the goal and score goals. We want to do this run. We want to go here. I don't know, like Forrest Gump style. We're going to just keep going and go out of the field and keep going and go to another country. But like, if we actually make a diagonal run, in this case, we're probably going to score a lot of goals. So a lot of players, unfortunately, in Washington State, they've been trained, in my opinion, in the wrong way for the modern soccer. It is okay to sometimes do a give and go, especially close to the goal. It's okay. It's not always we have to do it, but just doing this is gonna mess up the balance of the defense. And if you touch it like this and this player makes a diagonal run to here, you can even release the ball to this player here and go score a goal. Does that make sense? You know how many times I've seen this in practices and I yell, like that's one of the things I was trying to yell at on Sunday. After the girls played the boys, the Gala Pro guys played against the U19 and U17 mix, right? And Rafa gave a pass to here. But we literally had so many players on that side. And I think the situation was pretty much this. I think it was to Dylan. It was a good ball. I just told Rafa that if he played it to here, this guy has more space and more chance to score a better goal. But he wanted to pass it to the center where there's so many players that could cut the ball. And I told him if this defenders are at a high level, they're not going to let this player go that easy. And it's okay. If, let's just say, if this player is Mark II, that could have been the better choice still. But if the fact that this player is wide open, everybody's sliding that way, and this player literally, it was so open, and he was looking that way. If you just open the game, a high ball in front of him, it's an easy goal. So the Rafa was like, but Dodgy, we scored a goal. That's good. I like that. I'm just trying to teach you, if you do that pass 100 times, you're going to score 3 goals. If you do this pass 100 times, you're going to score like 70 goals and miss 30. It's such a big difference to choose the player who has a bigger, like much bigger chance to go through. The player who has the most space. Does that make sense? Jeff, do you have a comment about that? As a coach, I know that you guys were mentioning, and Kate, you too, you said that watching during the coaches clinic, you start seeing this stuff more and more. Because you looked at soccer a little bit different before. This is the way that I learned. And I hope that, like you said, it's opening your eyes in a different way to see the spaces which you need. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say many times, even during the scrimmage, was it just last week? Whether it's the pro guys or as the ref out there seeing the younger boys play the girls, there's a lot of good give and goes. I mean, like you said, sometimes those options are okay. Like there is space there. It gives an opportunity, but so many times the opposite side of the field is going to be even a better choice or a better option, and it's going to get the defense out of their shape for sure. So they're going to have to slide completely across the field to then decide who's marking the ball, who's going to mark the runners coming back into the box. So in that instance, like you were saying with Rafa, you would see that automatically, right? The space is out there to the wide side. That ball is going to go out there. Those defensemen that are in the center now have to shift to the opposite side, and they're going to lose their marks that they were right on. Even best defenders, right? They now have to leave those marks in the center and then slide to the ball, and then that opens up the space in the center of the box for a better scoring opportunity. So,
exactly. Kate.
Yeah, I agree. I think watching during the coaches clinic, seeing the players, show up between 2 defenders. I think we talk about that a lot. And then finally being able to watch a game and see it happen. I think it's a real like one of those moments that you mentioned earlier, like, now I get it. You know what I mean? Like being able to actually see it. So
like, what is the thing that, like, opening the minds the most. Like, as in, I cannot believe I didn't know this moments about the team shape. So because those moments are usually very important to other players to start seeing, right? Because I want to see it from your perspective. What do you think that, like, whoa, yeah, that makes a lot of sense moment? That's why I keep asking that question, because
Zazi,
that
you know what I
that can
want to
answer
know?
so many different angles. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Zazi,
But
I want to know how, like, so when our girls are playing and we keep on going down one side of the field, one side of the field, and we're screaming, you know, switch, switch, switch. And how do we get them to make those connections themselves? That's where I'm struggling. You know what I
well,
mean? Where they have to, I mean, it almost seems like they're just kind of, you know, it's failing, it's failing, it's failing. It seems like it would be an easy thought to bring it to the other side of the field, but it's not. And I can't get over the psychological barrier on that. I'm
I
not
know
sure
it's hard, like, and it's a process to get to that point for sure. Like, I literally, like, when I take a team, Kim, like, every practice, you need to open the game, switch 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 the game, right? And then I start working on some of the techniques to switch the game. So one of the issues that comes in with this, when a player is dribbling straight into the forward, they lose their angle to be able to switch the ball. But if they cut it a little bit back this way, now they have the space to give this pass. When they keep moving forward, because they're like, who's open? Who's open? But when they do that, defender comes. Now, even if this player is there, they're not going to be able to see this pass anymore, can they? Because they keep going into the pressure. So sometimes it's good to just kind of work on those techniques. And we have a couple of those, such like you guys been working on the last couple of times I worked with the girls, touch it outside your foot away. That's going to create space. And now you can see that opening the game. Right? First ball comes, I touch it this way. Like, if the ball is coming from, let's say I drop the ball from the left side to the centerman. Don't touch it this way. If it's coming from your left side, open your shoulder, touch it to your right, and then suddenly you have that pass. Does that make sense? If the ball is coming from here, this way, it's coming from your right side, which is your left foot touched this way, and you're opening the game. So sometimes it's just a technique too, and it's gonna go with that. What I do, Kim, also, I make them rules. So like when they play the 5 versus 5 at the end of practices, sometimes I make a rule like, you cannot score a goal unless this outside mid and this outside mid touches the ball. Does that make sense? So that way, and sometimes I make it 3 rules, and I think Jeff knows this one. I say a center forward, outside player here, and outside player all has to touch the ball before we can score a goal. If the other team touches it, we have to do it again. So that way, they kind of have to, if they want to score, they're not going to choose the easy way. They're going to have to find a way to find that pass. Otherwise, they cannot compete. So that's their goal. I need to find this player. That was a horrible job, by the way, sorry. And this player. All 3 players. And if I find them, now we can score. And that's going to encourage them to start looking up. And instead of seeing the first person they see, they know they have a purpose. They have to open the game. Hopefully that helps, Kim.
I like that. That's a good idea, Jaji. I like that.
All right. So anything else, guys? Like a wake up moment, like we were talking about. Connor, you had a lot of good things to say last time. Are you still here?
Yeah, I'm
Connor
still here.
Beagle. No, Beagle, the other one.
Oh.
Is he still here?
Yeah, no, I agree with basically everything that Jeff said. One thing that I remembered was the triangles. I think that that's very important on establishing as far as keeping our shape and as far as pushing the team to the sidelines. I think that's very important because it gives them less room to maneuver with. and also increases our chance of getting a steal. So
Yeah, that's good. You're cutting out a lot, so just let you know. All right. Anything else, guys? Do we have any other question in the chat room?
We had some comments in there.
Okay. Can somebody read it?
Yeah, Connor had a comment. I think the pass to the wide space in the final third is something that we could have done more in the scrimmage.
Okay.
And then we had a main rule: keep distance between defenders so he can make decisions. Lower level players cover themselves by standing right by pressure or touching it.
True. And another thing is, when your center back has the ball, checking in this close to them is closing the angle for the player who could pass the ball. So you're doing better defense for the other team than them. So don't stand in front of a player who has the ball. I hope that makes sense. Because you stay away from them, they see a lot more passes. So you, like a defender on the other team, will be doing the same exact thing. But when they do that, they open up some other space for us. When they're already marking and you come in like this, you're blocking our way. The other team is playing with 12 players because you just change the jersey color, playing for the other team. So we make sure that you.
Yeah, that's an important thing. That's an important thing to remember because we see that it happens.
I want to just stick in, but how far do you want to stick in? As players trying to look a pass, they don't want to have like a little back and forth passing 40 times, right? They want space. So you want to give them opportunities. You want to give them cover. You want to give them space. So if this guy is in trouble, one of the center backs need to drop. You see what's happening here? Because we are assuming this guy might steal the ball. If he steals the ball, he's gonna think he's one-on-one, but because we dropped earlier, we can defend this guy now. Does that make sense? Reading this play is critical. So it's the same thing. For example, a long ball is coming, and it's coming to, let's just say this is Kylie. Okay. And the girls' defense. If Kylie is about to go for a header, let's just say Kylie is really good at headers. Are we gonna assume Kylie's gonna win it? Or are we gonna assume the worst? Doesn't matter who that player is. It could be the
Assume
best
the worst.
defender in the world. You're gonna assume they're gonna miss that header. Why? Because if they miss that header, this is when the one-on-ones happen. But my teams don't give one-on-ones, right? Because we are assuming that long ball is gonna be both the defenders. You see the cover. You know who does it really well in the girls' team? Better than our boys. Kylie does this well because it's going to, let's just say, Natalie, and Kylie is already here. She knows. She's so good at that. Like she's reading that play so well. But unfortunately, sometimes she does it so much that when we are already here, Kylie's waiting up here and the ball goes to the center. This player has a shot. And why is Kylie so deep inside the box? Now she cannot block that shot anymore. This is as far as she should go when the ball is in the center of the field. That was the issue that we saw. But outstanding player when it comes to remembering and covering when the ball might be, or this player, two players fighting for the ball, you don't assume your left back is going to win it. You assume the worst. You're going to assume she's going to slip, he's going to slip, something is going to happen, they're going to pull a muscle. You're going to assume the worst. When it comes to defending, being pessimistic is the most important. When it comes to offense, being optimistic is the most important thing. Did you guys hear that? Like pessimistic, like what does that mean? Some of you guys might not know. Thinking the worst that could happen. Every time. Defense, it's great. Goalie, it's great. You assume worst thing is gonna happen every single time. But when you're in offense, you always assume the best thing is gonna happen. So a cross is gonna come. There's too many defenders here, but you still should make that run, because what if they all miss it? And if you made that run, you actually gonna score a goal. Today, I was watching Juventus game. There's a couple big lessons from the Juventus Porto game. One of them was Moratti, what was his name? Moratti?
Morata.
Morata?
Morata.
Morata. All right, Morata took a shot, an awkward, weird shot, like from like 40 yards, from all the way here, with a high ball, like a lob ball. And it's not gonna go in. Goalie's gonna probably save it. It might hit the post. Ronaldo made, at the age of whatever, 36 now, made literally a 30-yard run, because he's like, what if it hits the post and bounces out? It's gonna be an easy goal for me. I want you to watch that. That's why that guy is the best goal scorer in the world. That's why he has the most goals in Champions League, because that's optimism. He assumes something good gonna come out of it. Does that make sense? But look, in the same game, watch the highlights. First, second minute, maybe the first 5 minutes of the game, goalie made a mistake with the defense, and they assume it's going to be all good. There's so many offensive players pressuring here, and they wanted to possess the ball. So they were optimistic. And this much pressure inside the box, what do we say? Literally in a Champions League game, they passed here, pass came to here, the offense player stepped in and they scored the goal. Watch these goals. The two things, please watch the highlights. Porto playing Juventus. Juventus, for some of you guys doesn't know. And Porto is Porto. And watch that YouTube, search it. I'm telling you, it's a game-changing moment. What I'm saying is so true to you guys. Be negative about, always assume the worst in defense. Always assume the best in offense. Great lesson, by the way. See, something like that, again, led me to say something great. I did not plan to say this today. And it's such a big lesson. And you guys lead me to that point. So this is how important, guys, when you guys speak and lead me to things, because I honestly become a better coach and a trainer when you guys do that. Please speak more. I'm telling you, I was not planning on saying this. It was in my mind, but sometimes it doesn't come out, right? Unless the right question comes in. So great, well done. Any other questions, guys, before we finish?
I think that was it on the chat.
DJ, did you have something about something a while back?
Yeah, Dodgy, I was gonna ask on a goal kick, we're kicking it and they're pressing high, and we say to go long, so we go to the center. As a demon, do we want to flick it over to the forwards, or because all we have like facing backward is our center backs, we don't want to play it back to them. So we don't want to flick it. Do we want to control
So
it?
now the situation could be different though, right? Like what if,
Sure.
what if the reason we wanted to do a long ball is because there's too many people, right? So our goalie says, go up, right? So now we all go up. And of course, because if the goal kick is here, our outside mid may be wide here, right? If the goal kick is here, the other outside mid need to slide in here. D mid is here, another D mid is here, forward is here, and the other forward is sliding in here, right? And do I have an extra player or something? No, these are the D mids. No, we're good. This is the outside forward slides into here too. Look at how many people. Now, what if they're here, right? There's my bad. What if they're here and they're on the defenders? Then, of course, when the ball comes to you, is a high ball, and let's just say you're fighting with somebody here, TJ, you want to flick it because there's players around you. But what if there's a player here and they all pull back deep just to defend this, right? and you're getting the ball, why don't you just drop it if there's nobody in this area so we can possess the ball? So if you see nobody there, why don't you just drop it so we can possess and come out with an organized attack? Does that make sense?
Yes, I just wasn't sure if you wanted us to play it directly back to the center backs because they might have pressure.
If they have the pressure, flick it to forward.
Okay, will do.
That's a good question, by the way. Another great question leads to a great answer because it makes more sense that way. Honestly, guys, like, I wish that you understand how, like, this became better than my plan. So thank you. Anything else? We were about 38 players today at one point. We had a lot of people left and stuff, which is good though. Alfonso is back. He's trying to register. Jeff, he'll be joining your team. Next year, he'll be in the 2003-2004 team, which we're excited. Welcome back, Alfonso, if you can hear me. Or he just jumped in and then went to the bathroom for the last hour. Brian, is that Brian Alonso or Brian
Alonso.
Troxel? Huh? Brian, which Brian are you?
Alonso.
Alonso, okay. Yeah, I thought so. All right. Did you guys, are you gonna be able to make it both games?
I still don't know about Saturday.
We need you, man. Please make it work. And then Jeff, I just got a message from Juan. Jackson's mom has no idea what's going on, if she's registering, or I don't know if she got the link.
Okay, I sent it. I'll send it again.
You might need a phone call or message. I can give you, I think you have it though, right? So I just got that from Juan. Anything else that you guys might have questions? All right, guys, and thank you, coaches. Thank you, players, for coming in. I thought this was a good session. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I think sometimes it's hard for coaches, us, to really get the mind of the tactic in the training field. I think these tactical live sessions are critical to understand the plan. Because when you know the plan, you don't have to run as much like a crazy person after the ball. When you have a plan, you're only covering the areas that you're supposed to cover. It's going to save you guys a lot of energy. And you're in the right spot when we have the ball to attack as well.
Thank you,
sport
Coach.
matters.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Thank you.
I have another question.
Thank you, Dodgy.
One
Sure.
last question for all of you. What you think, guys? Who you guys think is gonna win, Godzilla or King Kong?
Oh
Okay,
my God.
Isaac. Okay.
Put it on the chat. Come on, guys. It's
King
a last
Kong.
question.
King
Answer
Kong.
that.
don't care is my answer.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't,
All right. See you guys. Thank you for coming. I'm glad that we're recording
Godzilla.
that too.
Oh no, man.
Thank you,
Come on.
Coach.
See you guys.
Thank you, Dodgy.
Thanks.